Hey, 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 QL crew. Welcome to July's live community conversation. This month's topic is, I was going to say exciting, but I don't think exciting is the right word. What is it? It is provocative. Provocative. Because we're talking about stress management, and all kinds of there are all kinds of perceptions and practices and attitudes about stress management. And one of the one of the things that I have said in the past that actually caught a little bit of heat is that we actually manufacture some of our own anxiety. And I think my word choice when I said that was incorrect. I don't think it's the anxiety um, that we manufacture. I think it's the stressors that we are responding to that we sometimes manufacture. This is definitely true for me. I was just chatting with a girlfriend this morning about the hustle that I've been putting in these last, we counted it up, 5 years. And I am much better now than I was 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, even 2 years ago at managing that intensity, right? Um, 5 years ago, I would have let everything that I've got going on just burn me to the ground. I would have gotten to the other side of it and made myself ill. Um, Now, and again, this was the conversation that we're having this morning. Now, even though things are going a mile a minute, 900 miles a minute sometimes, um, I am doing a better job at taking care of me. I am making sure that I get nutrient-rich foods. I'm making sure that I get enough sleep. The quality of my sleep on some days is a little wonk, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Um, and I am making sure to get my to gift myself that time for exercise and getting outside and all of those things that matter. Now, because this is what your best friends do for you. She was like, yes, and, which, all know is one of my favorite sentences. Yes, and you need to get on the other side of this particular push. I've got a 2-week push ahead of me. And then you need to take a break because you have not taken your foot off of the gas pedal in quite some time. And to be clear, this is super intentional, and this 2-week push is super intentional. Um, you all know that we launched the app in December. We launched the YouTube channel right before New Year's. We've been building and growing that. The app uses agentic AI um, to help us and our subscribers make better nutritional choices because it gives us feedback. It gives us recommended behaviors starting where we are, right? Another QL crew theme, starting where we are and doing what we can do. If you're eating, veggies and hummus, it's going to tell you, okay, add these things. If you're eating my favorite fast food, double double from In-N-Out, it's going to tell you, okay, maybe consider having it protein style with lettuce instead of the bun, right? So it starts where you are and helps you do what you can do so you can make those changes gradually. That's all built on agentic AI. And now that that is running, I have been hustling to reopen my consultancy so that I can get out in the world and help companies build AI that fits the way that people actually work, right? So, getting that consultancy spun back up, getting my name out there so that I can pull in those clients, those companies that are having those problems. Um, right? That takes effort. So I've got this big 2-week push, and you can hear the intensity in my voice, the pace. I catch it. I'm speaking faster, right? So that's the mode that I'm in, and it's been the mode that I've been in for a little while. And how am I taking care of myself in all of this, right? And your stressors might be different. I'm putting this pressure on myself. I also know that the market is changing rapidly. So there's a lot of learning, constant learning, because things change. Constant learning that has to go into this. So great, doing the work, doing this big press to get out and network and learn some more things and meet some great people. What am I doing to take care of myself on the other side of that, so that I'm not going to be sick on the other side of that, right? Because that happens. We push, 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 push. Another one of my really good girlfriends is a professor, and the first week of her break, whether it's winter break, summer break, she's sick. Sometimes she even gets sick on spring break because she pushes, 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 and she's not taking care, enough care, while she's pushing. So what am I doing? Like I said, making sure I get my nutrition, making sure that I make time for movement, making sure that I got enough sleep, and making sure that I have moments like last night. Got together with a group of girlfriends, had a cooler of beer and near beer because some of us had to drive, and we played we played Jenga, giant Jenga. We got the tower up to 31 levels. It was crazy. It was so fun. So finding moments of fun within that, right? Had a great dinner with friends last week. Stepped out and listened to live music for Independence Day, right? So all of those things. What I need to get better at within all of this is finding quiet, finding calm. I still do my meditation every morning. I journal many mornings. I write letters to my mom on other mornings. So my morning routine is solid. My morning routine really sets me up to succeed during the day. Now, where am I failing? I am failing hard at the end of the day. Um, I've caught myself a handful of times coming back and sitting here at my computer after dinner on weekends, and I'm trying to do a good job of limiting my time. The little candle lamp behind me has a timer on it. Um, and when it goes off, it's like, okay, girl, you need to stop. Some days I do really well at that. Some days I don't. When I come in the morning, I put it on the 8-hour timer. Um, and when it goes off, I know I've put in an 8-hour day. And so little things that I'm working on. And then where I'm failing is I'm not asking for enough help in the evenings. I'm not asking for enough help around the house and around the other responsibilities that I share, right? I don't take them all on myself, but that I share. Like this week, for example, my husband usually does our grocery shopping, and this last week I asked him to get mushrooms and something else. I don't remember what the other veg was. And he got them, but I didn't specify, please get the ones that are already sliced, because that little tiny bit of extra work when you're going at this pace is enough to go, one more thing, and it messes up the timing of getting the food in the skillet all at the right time. So little tiny things make a difference. The other thing that the other thing that I noticed is that with my sleep, there have been some days where I've woken up and I realize I'm holding tension in my body. Now, I don't expect that I'm holding tension all night, because if I were, I'd wake up with muscle cramps. And I don't actually think you can get into deep sleep and hold tension in your body. I could be wrong. I haven't done the research on that. Um, but those, moments or hours, I don't know. I wear a Fitbit. I haven't looked. Those moments or hours before you get up, where you're starting to wake up, I think my brain is already running and I start to hold tension around all of the things that are in my brain. And that's the other thing I wanted to share with you this morning. I have this little friend who sits on my desk, and no, family, I am not collecting squirrels. It's my little squirrel. I don't remember where I found him. You walk into stores like Target or whatever, and they have, in Walmart, and they have like the dollar area, which is, not a dollar, but he was in one of those. Last year in March, end of March, beginning of April, doesn't matter. I was meditating one morning and my brain wouldn't shut off. And in meditation, a lot of times they tell you, like, let the thoughts come in and then let them go away, like clouds in the sky or leaves in a stream. And I just couldn't get the thoughts from, they were coming in and coming in and coming in and coming in. And I was having a really hard time getting to that quiet space. And at one point in frustration, I opened up my eyes, and running along the fence line was this squirrel that occupies our yard. And I went, that's it, squirrels. That's what's in my brain. All of my thoughts are squirrels. And I sat with that and realized that that metaphor could work for me. And it really, really does. Every now and then I forget to apply it. And then I'm reminded, which is why this little squirrel sits on my desk. Again, family, I am not collecting squirrels. If I think of the thoughts as squirrels, well, what do squirrels do, right? They go collect a bunch of nuts and then they store them. And so it's like, all right, squirrels, collect all the ideas, collect all the thoughts, store them. And then when it's your turn, let's deal with that. So now I have this process in my head when I start to get pinging thoughts, all kinds of thoughts, where I wrangle the squirrels and I'm like, all right, all of you, take your projects, go run around in the back of my head and figure shit out. And come back to me when you have it figured out, because I know my brain works that way. Our subconscious is really, really powerful. And I think we don't access it enough. So I've gotten to the point now where I assign tasks to squirrels. I was trying to write a message to someone. They were going through a really hard time, and I was really struggling with words. And so I called up what is now in my head become wordsmith squirrel. And I said, hey, wordsmith, take this. This is what we're trying to solve. Come back when you got it together. And so the next time I sat down to write that card to my friend, wordsmith came through. And yeah, I don't literally have named squirrels running around in my head, but that metaphor helps me manage all that is running around in my head. So I think what's happening when I'm waking up is my squirrels are like, hey, my turn, my turn, my turn. And I'm starting to hold tension. And so I was thinking about it. There is, and I may not be using the right words. There is, I think it's called somatic meditation. And I'll go look this up. Literally just had this conversation this morning, so I haven't had a chance to do the research on it. I think it's called somatic meditation. You can throw in the comments if I'm wrong. Um, and I'm thinking of doing a somatic meditation where the instructor helps you get your breathing calm first of all, which by the time I go to bed, my breathing is in a good space because I always read before I go to sleep. Um, Helps you get your breathing calm, and then walks you through relaxing your entire body. So some of them start with your head, some of them start with your feet. Again, I don't know the research on any of this. I'll look it up and I'll start sharing little bits of it in Instagram and whatnot. Um, but I'm wondering if that would help me not wake up with tension held in my body, right? Um, and maybe that would carry over because I'll catch myself during the day holding so much tension in my face, which means I'm holding it elsewhere too, that I'm starting to get these little, what do people call them? The puppet lines, because I'm catching myself doing this. And so I'm making puppet lines right now. Rosehip oil helps, face yoga helps, but I don't really want deep puppet lines if I can avoid them. And I think not holding that tension in my face and my jaw will help. Um, so yeah, I'm looking at trying to improve my sleep quality that way, um, and give myself that another layer of mental reset before I go to bed. I've for years and years and years now, for as long as I mean, at least as long as my kid has been around, and she's 23, so at least that long, I have read, and I read an actual book, not screens, because screens don't work for me. I know other people who read on their iPad or whatever before they go to sleep, and they've got that dimmer thingy. Something about having the technology, and maybe because I work in tech and I'm on tech all day, every day, that doesn't work for me. So I have a physical book. I tuck in, I lay down, I have my heating pads, I have all of my things that I use to bolster my body because I've, as some of you know, busted up parts of my body over the years, many parts of my body over the years. And I have my book propped and I read until my brain calms and until I start to drift. And when I start to drift, I close the book, take a big drink of water, turn out the light, and snuggle in. At that point, if I click play on a somatic meditation, I use the Insight Timer app. It works for me. I've tried many of them. Some of them I've had access to because an employer paid for them. Insight Timer has a free version that has a lot of really good content at the free level, so that's what I use. If I already have the meditation queued up so that then I don't spend time on the screen looking for it, if I have it already queued up, like I can queue it up while I'm brushing my teeth before bed. If I have the meditation already queued up, all I have to do is press play, adjust volume, and then do the snuggle in. And with that meditation playing, my expectation, and I'll report back, my expectation is that I will be more relaxed as I'm falling asleep and hopefully more relaxed as I start to wake up, and hopefully the squirrels will stay a little quieter. So yeah, so those are just some of the things that I'm working on. I just dropped our latest unit. It is all about stress relief and stress management. Um, and I'm working on the unit that I will drop in August. It is on triggers and how we handle triggers. With everything in QL Crew, I recommend that you start in the beginning with Unit 1. But if you are in a state where you need the stress management before you need the foundational stuff, jump into Unit 9. Go ahead and do Unit 9 out of order. Then go back, start with Unit 1, and come forward, right? I'm going to set 2 intentions out into the universe right now, because I'm not good at voicing these. I'm not good at sharing them. In fact, my heart rate's going up as if I looked and checked my Fitbit, my heart rate's going up. I can feel it. I'm not good at sharing, at audibling my intentions out there. So I'm going to put them out there. And thank you for giving me the space to do so. Near term, immediate intention is over these next couple of weeks, discover the organizations who are my clients, the good people who are fun to work with, who are doing good work with AI for good. So that's intention 1, so that I can start consulting and ideally lock in a contract so that I can start consulting right after Labor Day. And intention 2 is in the remainder of 2026, we're halfway through the year, that QL Cruise starts to grow bigger. Some of our original members are starting small groups. You can start your own small group. If you want advice on how to do that, let me know, because that group accountability is super helpful. And in a moment, I'll tell you how to let me know, because sometimes I wonder if you don't know how to access me and that I am accessible. I am hoping that as 2026 goes forward, our community grows by these supportive small groups and, the individual out there who doesn't need a small group, right? And for the 2027 retreat, which we've done those, we'll do it again this year in November. We'll do that one in November. For the 2027 retreat, we've outgrown our current space. That's the goal, and significantly outgrown our current space. So those are the intentions. One's short term, one's long term. I can't believe I spoke those aloud on live video. But hey, if people don't know what you're working on, they don't know how to support you. And that is true professionally. That is true in our community. It's true at home. It's true in our friendships. Yeah, I think that's true everywhere. I think we need to put our intentions out there clearly, and that, hold on, back up, rewind, trying to get that word out of my vocabulary and not say that I need to do or need a thing. I get to focus on my nutrition. I get to focus on my fitness. I get to work on my sleep quality, because quite honestly, not everybody has that ability. They don't have the opportunity. Their situation doesn't support that. So I get to, and I got to, when I write down the grocery list for hubby, write sliced mushrooms. I get to say, you know what? My tomato plants are going to do what my tomato plants do. They're getting water. If I can find an easy, food to give them that doesn't take more work than it does while I'm watering them, then I will give them that. If not, then I have starts already going for when I'm on the other side of this 2 weeks. because one of my tomato plants is starting to turn yellow, and it makes me sad because it's my favorite tomatoes. I get to press hard in this stretch to build those client relationships. I get to continue making enhancements and improvements to our Carb Coach app. I get to choose the nutritious foods and make the choices that the app helps me make because I'm constantly learning from it. And I get to spend one Saturday morning a month with all of you right here. And I get to grow this community, and I get to hear the success stories of everybody, who's in the community. Heard a great one this week. One of our members, hubby's just retired, and that is one of those changes that kind of changes dynamics, right? It changes schedules, it changes dynamics. And she recognized that she was leaning too much into trying to help him navigate those changes, because they're not easy. Your whole, you've gotten up and gone to work every morning at 7 for however many 40 years, I don't know. And now you're not, right? That's disruptive. And I'm so proud of her. She recognized that she's been doing that for uh, about maybe a month-ish, right? And she recognized it, and she was like, okay, I'm going to focus back on myself and make sure that I get my nutrition and make sure that I get my exercise and make sure that I get my sleep and make sure that I go to bed on time, because he's a night owl. And because he doesn't have to get up and go to work, he's being more of a night owl. So I just am so proud and thrilled for her that she recognized the patterns that we worked all of 2025. That was the inaugural year of QL Crew. We worked together all of 2025 to establish quality longevity habits. And we are all human. We fall off of those habits. And sometimes we fall hard. You've heard me talk about some of my falls. Um, she didn't fall hard, but she fell off of the habits, and she recognized it in a short period of time, and she's making a plan with support of the community to move forward. So that's the last piece I want to say today is, how do you get more support from the community? Definitely commenting on lessons, right? If you've watched one of the lessons in one of the units and you're like, got a question about this, comment on it. If I don't get back to you right away, because I'm still trying to figure out YouTube comments, sorry, another thing to learn, hit me up on Instagram. It's the same channel, at Alesha Energy, same handle, sorry, because those messages do ping my phone. Hit me up and say, hey, I had a question about, lesson 3 in unit 4, blah, 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 right? Or, hey, I want information on how do I start a small group, right? Because I just created printables for everybody who wants to start a small group, and I can give you access to those. Hey, how do I do this when I can't get my family on board? And I can point you to certain lessons where we talk about that. And you can focus on those lessons and then circle back. And, you can join our live every month, and ask your questions in the chat. And I know a lot of you watched the live after it has already been published because it fits more in your schedule. Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. works for me. It doesn't work for everybody. And I know that a lot of you are watching the lives on playback. Comment, put your questions, reach out, right? Because We are a community, and that's what we're building here, and that's what we're building on. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your Saturday. Uh, wrangle your own squirrels, right? And find those moments that you need. For me, I have to find moments of stillness. I have to savor the moments of joy. Wait, correct the language. Sorry, rewind. I get to find moments of calmness. I get to savor the moments of joy. I get to be intentional about making both of those longer. And I get to wrangle my own squirrels. And I do get to push this hard professionally. And I do get to put intentions out in the universe and let people hear them, even though that races my heart rate. Um, and I get to be in and build community with you. And my mom was kind of poking at me a few months back ago because it's been a while since at that point, it had been a while since I had picked up a paintbrush or a sketchbook, which are hobbies of mine from when I was a little kid. And I told her, I said, my hobby right now, my passion is QL Crew. And I get so much joy out of this. Now, I have picked up the paintbrush recently, and getting I get to make time for that. I have been making time for that. And yeah, I get to manage my stress. I don't get to control what stressors come into my life necessarily, but I do. And again, another word I'm trying not to use, but and so I get to, let me say that again. I don't necessarily get to control what stressors come into my life, although we all know some of them I invite in. And yes, and I get to choose how I respond to those. And honestly, that's what all of Unit 9 is about. Again, normally in QL Crew, I say start with Unit 1 and proceed forward because Unit 1 is foundational, Unit 2 is the next level, and 3 is the next, right? It's stair steps of a foundation. However, if you are in a state where your squirrels just won't wrangle, go ahead and jump to Unit 9. There will be some things in there that refer to other lessons, other units, and they may not be as crystal clear if you haven't done the other units beforehand. A lot of that is our founding principles of start where you are, do what you can do. We focus on progress over perfection, and we make all of our quality longevity efforts, I almost made a new word, quality longevity efforts fit in real life. Wellness has to fit in real life. All right, community, I will see you again in August. I don't have the date off the top of my head. Obviously, it'll be posted up here on YouTube and it'll be on Instagram. And have a fabulous rest of your Saturday, rest of your weekend, and go into the week ahead supercharged if that's what you need. That's what I need. Or super chill if that's what you need. All right. Talk to you all later. Take care of yourselves. Bye, QL Crew.